My name is Rob Wallace. I am your life coach and spiritual mentor, and this is Self-Love with Law of Attraction. Hello, wonderful people, and welcome to Module 11 of your Self-Love and Law of Attraction course. And today's topic is Believe in Yourself. Now, I'm going to give you a piece of advice straight off the bat, which is stop caring about what other people are saying about you or to you. This is about taking your attention away from what other people are saying about you and what other people are saying to you. Now, this isn't about blocking out every single thing in which people say to you, because that would be foolish. What I'm talking about is your reactions to what other people say about you in relation to how you validate yourself, okay? Now, we have spoken about this concept in the last few modules, but I want to sort of wrap up this particular discussion in this module, which really it all comes down to you believing in your own validation, okay? And what I'm going to talk about in particular in this module is how you need to control your own reactions to what people say about you and what people say to you. Because how you react to what other people say to you dictates what you believe about yourself. For example, if people say something that's agreeable to what you believe about yourself, well, then that means you're getting more into alignment in what you already believe about yourself. For example, if someone comes up to you and says, "You look beautiful," if you want to feel beautiful, you should pay attention to that statement and say, "Thank you, I do feel beautiful." You see? But here's what happens. Many people always react with the opposite belief of what is being said to them and what's been said about them. And let me tell you what I mean by that. For example, if someone says something mean about you or to you, this tends to become a belief. People tend to easily believe what's been said about them in the form of criticism. And when someone actually gets a compliment, for example, I could sit here right now and say, "You are gorgeous, you're beautiful, you're wonderful." And people tend not to believe that, although that's what people really desire. People desire to feel beautiful. People desire to feel loved. People desire to be rich in health, wealth, and happiness. But for example, if you ask someone, "What would you do if you won the lottery?" many people would tell you they would freak out. They wouldn't know what to do. And if you go up and say to someone, "You're beautiful," they'll tell you they don't believe you. And if you go up to someone and tell them you think they are wonderful in any sort of way, they tend not to believe you. You see? Even though that's what they desire, their emotional reaction is that of non-belief. Now let's go back to winning the lottery. The first thing people would say is, "I don't believe it." Think about that in terms of the law of attraction principles. You get what you believe in. So if you're not believing in all the wonderful, positive things in which people say to you, how do you expect to achieve that goal of being beautiful, of being healthy, of being wealthy, and of being loved? In fact, there's another one. Many people, when they are told by a partner or any sort of loved one in their life that they are loved, they're always seeking to validate that love because they don't truly believe it's there. They want evidence. They want hard evidence. They want it proved to them time and time again, instead of actually believing it's already there. You see? Now let's flip that around. When people are insulted, for example, if someone says, or you look hideous, or you're no good at this, you're no good at that, or you're useless. People are very quick to believe criticisms. Do you see what's happening here, folks? People are so quick to believe in criticisms about themselves. That's what they end up believing about themselves. And like I said before, the law of attraction principle is whatever you believe about yourself will come true. Now, what I mean by that is if you are constantly going through all the years of your life telling yourself that you're no good, well, you're going to end up believing it, right? And I'll tell you this right now, folks, all it takes for your reality to switch around in the click of a finger is for you to change your thought pattern about yourself, right? All it takes is for you to switch your thought pattern around to, I am beautiful. I am wonderful. I am giving to other people. I am receptive to wonderful compliments from other people. I am divine. I am elegant. I am wonderful. People think that is narcissistic. It is not narcissistic to consider yourself to be a wonderful, functioning person who is beautiful in the inside, who is capable of giving the inspiration of beauty to others. That is not narcissistic. What's narcissistic is you thinking you are no good and assuming that is good. You assuming you're somehow useful and thinking of yourself being useless is narcissistic because you think so much of your own uselessness. You see, you believing in yourself so much in regards to uselessness, well, all you're going to attract is vanity and uselessness because you think so very little about yourself that what you are really doing is attracting people who are going to take advantage of you, okay? Because you've opened up yourself to being a useless person that you're not even capable of leading your own life, and other people are going to take advantage of that by telling you that you're even more useless to get what they want, you see? When you're confident about yourself, when you realize how useful you are, that is when you are full of use. You see? When you consider yourself full of use, useful, then you are full of use that you can give to others. You are only capable of giving to others when you are full of use that you can pass on to others. So stop paying attention to what other people are saying negatively about you. Because when you're allowing that to enter your vocabulary, when you're allowing that to enter your dominant thought pattern, you're allowing that to come into your reality. When people say anything negative about you, all it takes is for you to mentally turn around that conversation. When you mentally turn around that conversation in your head, that process, that action alone is a sign of leadership. And that's all it takes. It takes no effort for you to turn around your reality. All it takes is a thought. So if someone says something negative about you, bless them, walk away, and turn around that thought in your head. Because that action alone is you taking leadership of your own thought patterns. And that is also you believing in yourself. And ultimately, folks, that's you loving yourself. That's you recognizing the loving power within you. Now, I'm going to touch upon a subject which later on is going to be discussed in full in one of the latter modules called Self-Worth, Net Worth. But I'm just going to touch upon this just now, okay? What you need to do is be aware of how much you're worth to yourself. Now, what I mean by that is you need to know your own value. You need to validate your own value. Your own value must be validated by you, not by anyone else, but by you, okay? And if it so happens that someone comes up and says something which aligns with your validation, then you take that as a compliment. You receive it graciously. But here's how it works, folks. Here's how law of attraction works. If you want to receive validation from the outside world, then it begins with you validating yourself and giving validation to others. You see? And this is how you deal with negative people. If you've got negative people around you, then like I said, it's the same process in how you deal with negative thoughts. You don't fight with them. Do not fight with others who are negative around you. I know that could be difficult in some sort of situations, but listen carefully to what I'm saying. When you validate another person, and I don't mean validating their negativity, I mean if you could pick out one thing, anything at all, which is good in that person, then validate that goodness, okay? Everyone, I don't care who it is on this planet, there's 7.7 billion people in this planet, and every person has some degree of goodness in them. And that's what you want to validate. And you know what, folks? Guess what that goodness is? It's love. It's the same goodness that's within you. You see? And ultimately, that's what you're aiming to validate within them. But whatever characteristic that you find in a negative person, which is positive, validate that. Plant seeds, okay? Plant seeds of hope and validation in the most chaotic people around you. I'll give you a personal example. I've dealt with quite a number of negative people in my life, okay? But I no longer view them as negative. I perceived them as negative when I was reacting and believing what they were saying about me. And here's what happened. Magic happened. When I started validating the goodness within those people, and what happened was I managed to reconcile with those people. And if it's a lover, it doesn't necessarily mean getting back with a lover. It doesn't mean to say you need to be in the same situation as any lover or friend or family member. It just means that you've healed some disconnection that's existed between you, okay? When you give love to other people, regardless who it is, they will give you love right back. And you need to be open to receiving that love. But guess what, folks? I know I've told you that love begins on the inside. Well, in order to give love, you have to first love yourself inside. Because when you become full of use, when you become full of love, the only thing to do is to give that out, right? So the first thing you need to do is love yourself. So much. Love yourself in a way that you want to be loved by others. And then give that love to those who need it most. Those who already love themselves don't need any validation, okay? What you want to do is lift and transform the negative person, right? And you don't need to do this in any great way. You could do it simply by a smile or a compliment. And that will plant a seed of thought, which that person will never forget. Even though it may seem that they've forgotten about it, it will stick with them. And as long as you give out love in terms of lifting others up, you're going to attract people who are going to compliment you and lift you up. And you have to be receptive of those compliments, you see? Because when you're giving and receiving love, then all you're ever going to know in your reality is love. You see? Energy flows through giving and receiving. So when you give love, be open to receiving love, okay? Don't give love and then just accept the negative comments because you're not receiving anything, okay? You're worth what you give. Therefore, when you give out richness, you will attract richness in all aspects of life, in health, wealth, happiness. Okay? And so, today's exercise, I want you to think about either one person or a number of people. And I want you to choose those people who you think are negative. And I want you to pick one quality from them, okay? If it's a number of people you're choosing, just pick one quality which is good within those people. Or if you're just choosing one person, I want you to write 5 qualities which makes that person a good person, okay? And then, if you're feeling up to it, okay, which I suggest that you do, all right, go to that person and just randomly compliment them on that goodness. But you don't have to go as far as that. What I want you to do is to think of that person in your life. If they exist, maybe you're surrounded by people who are lovely, and that is awesome. Don't change that. But if you're someone who's finding that you're surrounded by some negative people, pick one person and stop thinking negatively about them. Think about them. Just use your imagination. Write their name in a piece of paper and write down what makes that person good, or what quality of goodness do you think that is buried inside them, waiting to come out. Okay? And what I want you to do is to change your thought pattern. Every time you think about that person, look at the piece of paper that you have, okay? So every time that person comes into your mind, and every time that negative movie, that negative film reel starts to play, go to that piece of paper and look at the goodness within them. Because I guarantee you, folks, if you can do that, if you can switch your mindset to thinking upon that goodness within that person and not believing that they are negative at all, magic is going to happen. This exercise is powerful, okay? It's very powerful. When you start to look at the goodness in others, then what you are doing is you are respecting, you are loving your own self. You're loving the way that you think, okay? That's what you're doing. You're showing love to your wonderful womb of creation, to the place where your thoughts exist. You are respecting those thoughts. And in turn, you're respecting that person, okay? No matter what they've done in life. If you can respect who you perceive to be the worst person in your social circle, if you can change that thought pattern around to view the goodness within them, then magic starts to happen. And you need to keep up those thoughts. Because what's going to happen is you will probably not need to say a word to that person. That person themselves will change. Because when you change, that person can't vibrate with you. That person can't even penetrate your thought patterns. And therefore, that person, in their own desperation to connect with you, is trying to find that vibration that you're on. And if you're on the vibration of love, that person is going to have to meet that vibration of love, you see, to connect with you. And they'll do it. They will do it because they desire to connect with you. We're all desiring to connect with each other, you see. And if you're on the highest vibration of love, then people are going to find themselves with no choice but to connect with you on that higher vibration of love. You see? So just to summarize this module, stop believing in the negative comments that people say about you or to you. Okay? Only believe in comments which are lifting you up. But most of all, people, validate yourself first. When you validate yourself first, and when you believe in your own self-validation, then you'll become full of use, you'll become full of love, that the only place that that love can go is outwards to lift others up, who will then in turn bring you the gift of connection, because they can only meet you on that vibrational level of love. And that, my friends, is the law of how energy works. What you give out is what you receive in kind. Give out self-confidence, give out self-love, and you'll receive all of that back in all sorts of abundant ways, including health, wealth, and happiness. Okay, folks? This concludes Module 11, and I will see you wonderful, gorgeous, beautiful, shiny, happy people in Module 12. Folks, have a wonderful day, and God bless you. See you later. Bye-bye.